empty space, but now I'm sure of where I'll go from here. And tensions rise, they push me to divert my vision, but I will break the ceiling and the walls that kept me in for all this time, and all the reasons that I cannot find. They'll wait for me to fall under that pressure. They'll wait for me to give it up. Well, I will not work against the forces I trust. Have to stay above the rushing water. I will do my best to keep myself composed. It takes a lot not to overload. They can't tell me what is right for me. I just need peace of mind and my ability, but no one said that it would be this hard. You can't force it, but you'll play your part. So I will run until I reach the end, and who knows where I'll be, but all I know is that we'll start again. They'll wait for me to fall under that pressure. They'll wait for me to give it up. Well, I will not work against the forces I trust. Have to stay above the rushing I've got my sights on a brand new beginning. A steady rhythm will hold me to the shore. I've got my sights on a brand new beginning. A steady rhythm will hold me to the shore.
Good evening, everyone on the APAC server. Tonight it's going to be a bit different because we're not going to be watching professionals tournament matches. We're going to follow challengers tournament, and this is the only tournament that is going on tonight, and they are now on day 2. Same for lower echelon championship, they are also now on day 2. So I'm sure a lot of you don't know what it is with the Challengers tournament, so this is very simple. Just like previously, there are 2 stages, the group stage and the final stage. Both are played in a double elimination format with 4 teams in each group. The group stage will be played in the best of 5 series, while the final stage will be played in the best of 7 series, with the grand final being a best of 9. There are 4 teams, I mean, of course, I've said it already before, 4 teams in the bracket, and the seeding for the final stage will be the first against the second from both from the groups, from alternating group. So you see what I mean there. So for example, first placing team of group 1 versus second placing team of group 2, and vice versa. So if you have no idea what it means by double elimination, and I'm very sure that you know this at the back of your hand, then you don't really need me to explain here. So I'm just going to ignore that for now. We will now jump onto the timeline, which the Challengers tournament will be held until the 19th. So I will be back streaming on the 19th for the Challengers Tournament Grand Final, hopefully. Because there are no matches for the Professionals Tournament, and we all want to see the best games in the Challengers Tournament. So don't miss any action there on that day. And you know about Blitz Ultimate Cup already. The top 4 of the Professionals Tournament will be playing in this big tournament. It will be held on the 29th and 30th, and I hope I will be participating in that Blitz Ultimate Cup, the prestigious Blitz Ultimate Cup. So taking a look at the November schedule, so we're pretty much here. You can see the gap between the 2 professional tournament tabs, and the bracket I'm following tonight will begin with BRWN versus P2, and the loser of that will face SZ in the lower bracket final. After that, we will know the 2 teams that have qualified to the next day, and they will be fighting out for better seeding in the grand finals. This is the power rating before the start of the Professionals Tournament and Challengers Tournament. So this is a little. The group we are following is it's noticeably stronger than the other. You can see BRWN, SZ, PTW, and P2 are all ahead of almost all the teams on the other group, which are Rats, DT, 101AD, and also EOS. But this has already changed because we saw the shocking elimination of. Well, no, EOS got eliminated. That is not a shock elimination, to be honest with you. But we do see a shock elimination of PTW, so they would go further down the packing order, meaning our SOC would potentially have a chance in taking the 10th place, and they are huge favorites of winning the lower echelon championship outright. But they have a big opponent with Kane, but they've beaten them twice, so we will see what's the final result there. These are the maps for the autumn season without Ghost Factory and Hellas, but we have predetermined maps and we will go into the room soon. This is Mapbox making the following predictions. For challengers, we have BRWN versus P2, the game we're following first, predicted to go in favor of BRWN. Meanwhile, 101AD versus DT is predicted to go in favor of 101AD. And finally, we have the lower echelon championship. UQ versus XPG will be played today. And this is going to be a tough group for these 2 teams. These 2 teams are really good teams. And especially for HPG, I have to say huge credits to HPG, because HPG, they have really low average win rate. I think they only average about like 53%. But I really I think they have fought really hard this season, and they got into the second day of Pure Skill Tournament once, and they almost beat EOS there. So this is a team to watch, definitely. But UQ is definitely looking to secure a spot in the final stage. Okay, so that's it, and before I continue, I would like to give a shout out to Silverly. Thank you for the support, but I think you should all support them on YouTube. I think he is in the chat right now, and I don't think they have a lot of videos uploaded, but they want to be an aspiring streamer, so help them get more than 50 subscribers, and they will be able to give you some really good content and streaming. And this is pretty much what I want to say here. Okay, so Brown are runaway favorites for Challengers Tournament, but will they face competition tonight? We'll find out soon, and we will now go to the lounge. And as you can see, you aren't seeing the graphics for the Professionals Tournament. This is just Challengers Tournament. So we have Brown versus P2 first, and then SZ. Meanwhile, we have Group 2. That will be 101 AD versus DT. DT's team name is a bit suspicious, to be honest with you, and I don't think I should say that in full. The loser of that will face Rats in the loser bracket final, but I think that's a bit too negative, so we go for the lower bracket final. Hope more people will join soon. And we are going to go into a room in no time. Alright. So, I believe the deposits are already closed. No one is betting. I also want to do a huge shout out to Clan Wars Asia for creating an intriguing community event during the autumn season. I'm talking about Blitz bets. Mind you, there is no real money involved, and they emphasize on not encouraging gambling at all. But it's a fun little event that you can predict which teams will win, and then you can earn earn a certain amount of points if your guesses are correct. So far, what I'm seeing here on the Clan Wars Asia Blitz Bets event, there are already some people who have already got 4 times the amount of calibrated points they had. So this is going to be very interesting to see, and I think this is also a great opportunity to test whether Madbox has done a good job as well. And I think I'll be using a lot of final results from the Blitz bets to see how I could further improve my betting bots or my prediction bots, or so to speak, something like that. And I would like to say a huge thank you for making this happen. Although I also have the Thomas Peterson for the EU server, but no one has approached me to do an event relating to that. So, but that doesn't matter at all. I mean, at least if Madbox is going to provide some really good insights on what kind of parameters I have to improve. Mind you, also, it's the first time not the first time. It's the second season where I calibrate my Madbox with a new algorithm. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to see, especially a parameter regarding the head-to-head results. That is going to have some changes in the weighting, and maybe I could add a couple of new parameters. But then, if you study modeling, you know that adding too many parameters might make your results look close, but they are not necessarily the truth. So what I want to say is that adding a lot of parameters might make the situation more truthful, or maybe make the situation closer to the form it depicts for the team. But it does not necessarily mean that the guesses, that the odds to guesses are going to be more accurate. And also, I mean, modeling is all about prediction and forecast. And you know, I mean, if you study weather, you know that having or other areas of science, you know that having higher resolution isn't necessarily going to give you a better forecast. You still have to get some things better, like the initial conditions. So, putting back in Madbox perspective, it's that there are still a lot of uncertainty on the form of the teams. You cannot describe the form of teams using a simple physical equation. And even if there is a simple physical equation, differential equation that describes the form of the teams, it's going to be difficult to solve. You don't really have numerical methods. I mean, you have numerical methods to do that, but they have some errors with approximations and so on, and the parameterizations. Okay, I should stop waddling about modeling science, and this is kind of a huge part of what I did in the university. So I should stop speaking like a person that is giving a talk in a conference. We focus back onto the matches we're going to be seeing tonight, and we are on Fort Despair, upper bracket final. We begin with BRWN versus P2. BRWN installed as runaway favorites, and they were very unfortunate not to get into the top 8 in the end. But we cannot admit 9 teams in the professionals tournament, sadly. That would upset the schedule by a lot. I would love to see BRWN in the professional tournament, don't get me wrong, but some team has to be left out in the end, and it has to be, in the end, it has to be BRWN, which I'm very sorry to see, but can they give us some good performances tonight? We'll find out now. And I'm going to be I am going to be seeing if my scoreboards are looking right, and they are looking right. So we are now seeing BRWN from the red team, North Spawn, P2, Southside, blue team. They're going mostly to A, and we could see triple 113s going into the northwestern corner, but we saw what happened with Raid taking triple 113s, and one of the reasons why the 113s are not a good idea is that Concept 1B can hold down there and do absolutely wonderful damage. And again, have teams learned about the triple 113 strategy, which doesn't seem to work really well at the moment. P2 so far has the hit point pool advantage. P2 does not want to lose hit points here, but look at the 113s, they are in a little bit of trouble here. And we can see Brown also losing more hit points here, and look at Theron. Theron might be able to put some shots in, but we also see Apsis losing some hit points, and Theron looking to put a shot, but it's a bounce, sadly. Strachny gets shot at by Blanks, but Strachny misses that shot, which is very interesting though. But look at Brown, they are now pushing onto Theron, also potentially Holiday. But look at this. P2 has already made a push onto the northwestern corner, and it's all down to focus fire. But the Concept 1B will be ignoring that for a moment. Gets a tank out of the way, which is Cake. Memento is also dead, and now this is going to be really close. Blank's doing a really good job with the VK. 1 versus 1 seemingly will go in favor of P2 there. Horizon's the next focus for P2, and it really looks strong. P2 has a strong hit point pool lead, and there are no rewards for the stream, sorry. One and Only is going to put another shell onto Horizon with Yumi getting the kill shot here. Strachny still fighting against Blanks, and puts a shot in, and Blanks needs to land all the shots here. And it's a big shot into Strachny. He could do that 1 versus 1. Memento says on the chat, so bad. But I would say the strategy of WZ13s, again, is not working out. Teams should stop using this and should start using top 2 strategies. I mean, I'm just joking. there are no strategies I would consider top 2. It's all about getting the right pushes and focus fire. This is what is more important here. P2 has some decent focus fire and connection with the teammates. Some good teamwork overall. But this is going to be a great win for P2. I mean, it's pretty much a duplicate of what has happened with Jokes vs Raid. Brown, I'm not sure if they watched my stream, but there is a really good example, really good reason why you don't take triple 113s into the northwestern corner. And these 3 tanks have done less than 2,000 damage in total, which is definitely not good enough. My advice is switch those tanks to the Type 71. That would give you more armor to cope with, and especially when you're spawning from the north side. I've seen a lot of times where it's a lot harder to shield your tanks if you are going to the northwestern corner from the north side compared to the south side. South side, it's easier. You have the kind of the ruined building that is to your right, although you have the building like to the left as well. But then if you want to use that as a shield from the north side, that's a bit too far forward. So this is the problem here, and you can see the Concept 1B from P2 farming Brown for days. Please stop using this strategy. I promise you, it is not working at the moment. I am very sorry to say. I seldom criticize innocent strategies, but this is a strategy that is, well, it could have worked in another meta, in a previous meta, but it is not working now. It is not working now. So hopefully they will do some changes, maybe to the tank choices or positioning. But now we'll go back to Port Despair, the second match. Brown versus P2. So far so good for P2. That's a great start for them.
Let's get this show on the road.
And here we go, red team from the south spawn and P2 blue team from the north spawn. And we could see Brown going for Seaside, and I mean we can see Manny going up this slope here, trying to get spots, and Abscess get spotted, and we can see a lot of light bulbs being lit up thanks to Thomas Edison for the invention of light bulbs. But it's off topic at the moment because Mr. Insane now in this position to hold down. I think it's a good time to take this position, although it's a bit slow. But P2 isn't exactly going to B, and they're dropping into B now. I mean, I'm talking about Brown here. They're trying to get the cap lead. Will this inspire P2 to get C? But this is going to be hard because Brown is there to reset C. P2 has now dropped into C, and they are ready. They're ready to... I mean, both teams are ready near C. They are ready to put up a fight. They're ready to reset caps. One and only takes a hit here. But Tom Killer is not being reset at the moment. And P2 is getting even more aggressive now. They are feeling it. They are feeling this. They're going to put a good shot into kick. But this shot is a bounce. Yikes. You don't want to make those bounces, do you? But it's not doesn't matter too much at the moment because both teams are not pushing. Both teams are holding. It doesn't hurt a lot if you bounce shots. Just don't panic if you do that. Another bounce. But this is a harder shot to go to do because kick is pretty much side scraping. So looking at the situation here, it's on P2 that needs to make a push, but you can't really push from C because Brown is looking exactly that. The pressure point will be on Mr. Insane near B. So if I were P2, I would probably make that rotation, but they have to do so a little bit more sneakily because if you want to take the short route, like this route, look at where Manny is positioned. He could spot up tanks, and look at Blanks rotating to that side. He got absolutely outspotted there. So the only way if you want to rotate from P2 is to rotate back to the spawn through this lane here. As you can see, Darren is doing that here. So this is the lane they could only take if they don't want to get spotted. But because Blanks got spotted, Brown is preparing for a push potentially coming from B. They are now fortifying their forces there. So this is not looking good for P2. P2 does not have lots of hit points. They have a hit point disadvantage. And they are now rotating completely out of C, leaving Tom Killer there. So this means if Brown decides to push onto C, they can do that and take out a tank here. And I would be interested to see what Brown is going to do. Mr. Insane is going to have a lot of responsibility in the spotting. He has spotted now 4 tanks. 4 tanks now spotted near B and C. With Brown immediately going to C. Great call there. It's a move that I will be doing, but not necessarily stopping on C for a moment because now P2 is just going straight in to Mr. Insane. But they are not exactly committing to that. C is going to be captured and they will lose that cap. And P2 all they need is to get B and also get Mr. Insane out of the way. And not get shot at by Siraj and also Memento. Yumi is now really low, and I think P2 is now struggling a lot with the shots. They will get B in the end, and they will still not have their hit point pool advantage. And now the 6 TPs are now come in, and the shots have gone into Siraj, but P2 has hesitated in the push, but they got Siraj out of the way. Tom Killer is still holding, but not for long, unfortunately. Hit points in huge favor of Brown now. Brown has found Blanks. That is the focus here. Mr. Insane is finally dead, but it took them a long time for them to do so. Tom Killer is finally dead, and we can see P2 looking to get B to stop B from being captured, but I think it's too late here. Strasny in the Type 71, great shots onto Holiday, but Memento bounces. Well, it doesn't matter here because Brown has 2 times more hit points than P2, almost. And Darren is dead, and Brown gets this. Great job to Brown. Great call. Not necessarily would get 3 tanks onto C. They have a world of time to do that. So I would have got even more aggressive and just go push in and get Top Killer out of the way. Well, that is not like a major mistake from Brown's side. It sounds like it is, but it is not. Because the big mistake I'm seeing right now is P2 hesitating whether to push on B or not. It's a good idea. They didn't commit to that. Because they hesitated, Brown is able to regroup quickly and continue to frustrate P2, making them frustrate even more. And had P2 just gone straight in and just rush Mr. Insane, I think they could kill that time quickly and then deal with this isolated 60 TPs. They don't exactly have the best DPM, so if they go in very aggressively, I think they could make it a close one. Because they hesitated, they weren't able to get the kills quickly enough, in my opinion. And this goes to Brown. Well done, Brown. This is a much better game from them. Oh, 45 people watching. Thank you very much so far. Yes, I'm from Hong Kong. I don't know how you could tell that from here, but yes. But I'm not in Hong Kong at the moment, I'm in the UK. That is why it's sunny at the moment. And we're going into Vineyards. Brown versus P2. Oh, Mr. Insane needs to ready up. Now he has ready up just in time. Oh my gosh, Brown. It will be embarrassing to play with only 6 tanks. And it's streamed live. And that will be a meme if that happens. That didn't happen. So, Brown, don't scare us like that. Red team from the north spawn and P2 blue team from the south spawn. And where are both teams going today? Where do they feel like going tonight? Do they feel like going to the high street near C, or do they feel like pastoral and want to have some good farm foods near A? We'll find out now. And P2 is going to the ruins, going to investigate the wreckages, the building wreckages here. And we have already seen P2 getting B already, having the cap lead. And Brown will get A. And that is good. That will bring them just only 1 tank away from flipping, with one and only spotted. And Brown, a couple of tanks have been spotted too. Suraj has been spotted while crossing, but one and only is looking the other way, so he's not interested in the high streets of C. Fancy fashion brands aren't his thing for sure. That is why he's looking forward to pastoral life, and Mr. Insane is going to out there. But Suraj has been seen shopping in the high streets of Vineyards, so he has been punished for that. But look at P2 already making a push. Memento absolutely isolated. Can he get out of this quagmire quickly enough? And Brown, are they going to go in and support Memento? Memento, this is a really, really big call. It could backfire, but Holiday is also in deep trouble. Now Brown has pushed in. This is going to be a huge fight here. We have descended into Hubbub. And with Memento now down to a 1-shot, he will be out of the fight. Holiday will also be out of the fight soon. It is the case. It's all about focus fire now. Brown is focusing the attention onto Darren, but Brown seems to be confused a little bit. Now they know the focus they want to go for. They have tagged this tank up. With Darren now dead, it's now 5 versus 4. We're going to be seeing Brown now focusing onto Apsis and 2 other tanks going for Tom Killer, or maybe Mr. Insane trying to put a shot onto Apsis. Blanks is going to farm from behind. He's going to put a lot of DPM from behind, but I don't think it's going to be enough. P2 is struggling a lot in terms of the hit points. And Brown, amidst of the turmoil you're seeing right now, they are going to prevail. With Apsis now dead, Yumi will not last for long. And there we have Blanks, which feels hopeless in the entire situation that he's in, because Brown will have 1,000 cap points by then. Well done to Brown. That is some good restraint. I was worried about momentum there for a moment, but P2 again hesitated here, whether to go and push in. But you do want to confuse Brown as much as you want. You really don't know whether the communication will falter, when you create confusion, which is why I think it might be a risk worth taking, to be honest with you. I mean, they're in the low ground and not really in cover, but I mean Brown is not as well, so should P2 just go straight forward and just push? Maybe. But more to say is that Brown's focus fire is pretty much on point, despite a couple of seconds of confusion in the middle of the game. But that doesn't really matter in the end. It was a solid game throughout for Brown, and it's now 2-1 for Brown here. This is really strong performance, and P2, they need a magical moment. They haven't been able to find that so far. But Brown looking better and better here, and I mean they are a tremendous team, but an extremely strong team on the APAC server. I want to see them back in the winter season and see them play really well, but then until Wargaming has found a way to fix the win rate seeding, which I don't think it's going to be possible for the winter season, because potentially we might have the Money Blaster format again, but we will find out for potentially the last match for the upper bracket final, Brown versus P2. And this time, will Brown go to the high street, or will Brown go to the ruined city? We will find out now. We will have Mr. Insane going into B, and oh, P2 is going to shop. Is going for shopping. They're going to send the rest of the team to high street and look for discounted items. But will they find discounted items, which is Brown's tags there? No, I don't think they will be finding that. The cap points are going to go in favor of Brown because they got B more quickly, but Blanks got A quickly too. So it's just only like 5 cap points of difference here. And Siraj, again, in this position, no, not again in this position, but this is really close to the lonely Laotian. But the lonely Laotian has captured C with impunity, which means Brown is now in a bit of a tricky situation with the caps. They need to make a push. And Strashny is potentially looking to get into A, but he has been spotted. Strashny wants to sneak in, but can he do that? Maybe he can. Good shot onto Holiday here. But we will see if Strashny is going to make a cap on A. He is hesitating at the moment because he knows that P2 can reset him. So he's waiting for P2 to respond and put most of the attention onto A. But then at the same time, P2 is on the other side. But look at Holiday getting absolutely smacked. The crossfire from Brown is there. But now Brown has dropped into A, trying to get a cap. But P2, they have a lot of tanks near C. Will they try to push onto Siraj and Memento? I think that's the call that they could make. But P2 not exactly spotting everyone near A. But A has been captured finally. And Brown is preemptively moving backwards because they know they don't have the attack advantage. They're going to wait. They're going to absorb the push coming from P2. I like how they regroup here. But Brown is not exactly pushing onto the spawn of P2. They have the cap lead. I think they don't want to risk too much. And they don't want to go to a tiebreaker. But if I if I feel like it, I could absolutely rush onto the northeastern corner. It's not like Sriracha Memento doesn't know what could happen, what could unfold here, but we will see what Brown is going to do, or more to say, what P2 is going to do now, because they don't have the cap advantage. They are under a cap disadvantage, and are they going to make a push onto Mr. Insane? There are not a lot of tanks trying to shut down the push coming onto Mr. Insane, but Mr. Insane is a T100 LT. He could run away very quickly if he spots up the P2 team trying to rush onto him. He is ready to run. He is definitely ready to run, but look at the shots coming onto the lonely Laotian. P2 is once again hesitating in the push. But look at the Crown Bargain and One and Only and Darren trying to focus onto Memento. Meanwhile, Brown has made a push onto the northeastern corner, trying to take out Apsis. I think this is a good move from Brown, but look at P2 now crowding it onto the 60 TPs. They want these tanks out of the way. Memento is out, but Brown is very close to winning this one. They only need one more kill, and they got that kill. And they are through to the grand final and also to tomorrow's matches. Well done to Brown. I mean, these last 3 wins, they look very convincing. They are very dominant. The first match, I would blame their strategy. That it is a strategy. They need to throw that away. Get a new strategy, because that was not working out at all. Other than that, I mean, their foundations are just much better than P2. P2, I think what they're struggling a lot with is hesitation. They are struggling to work out a way to push or not, work out a way to push and respond to a cap disadvantage situation. And they really need some experience here. I think this is what they are suffering at the moment. I do think there are a couple of players here that have a lot of experience. Some of them were in the NQE7 team, which has won Challenges tournament twice, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly, but it looks like they need some more experience to figure out how to make a good push. And hesitation is their biggest enemy, and they will be fighting against SZ in the lower bracket final. And I do hope that they will be more confident in the pushes. It could also be that they are a bit nervous, but the things could happen. But Brown just convincingly pulls through, and will they get the first place tonight? We'll find out. So someone, I think, says Strasny is not only scary but also cunning. I think Strasny is meant to be well, does it mean that Strasny means scary in Russian? I'm not sure. Well, we will take a look at the results of other groups. Okay, let's actually go back to the game here. I mean, we will have PZ versus SZ. That is reflected on the scoreboard. I mean, it's better to change the screen actually. Maybe to the screen so you can hear some music while you're waiting. Challenges tournament. We have DT knocking out 101 AD 3-0, and they are through to the grand final. Oh, that is not a good start for 101 AD at all. They were predicted to win 3-2, but they prevailed. How about lower echelon championship here? We're going to be seeing HPG versus UQ. Have the matches ended? Do we have a result? And we do have a result because UQ has beaten HPG 3-0 the first time. And they will be fighting in about an hour and a half in the grand final in the upper bracket, where they will be having a rematch. All the best to HPG, but UQ, they will be winning 3-0 in the first in the first time for the first time. And now Sock 3-0 against IBP. And Minnows will be playing IBP. Meanwhile, PYC against ADVI. And it has gone in favor of PYT, and they have won 3-1. Great job to PYT. And I mean, they are also one of the favorites to qualify to the final stage. How about King versus S? 3-0 to King. So the results have gone as expected. I don't think we are seeing any upsets here. So apart from DT, BT, 10183, that is an upset for me. Okay, now we have results. Okay. I think we also have results for P1 versus Nomad, isn't it? Yes, it has ended in favor of P1 4-0. They have asked to reschedule the match, and Nomad agrees to the rescheduling due to some players on P1 team having to play the 7th tour at 1 AM. And for humane reasons, I think that is reasonable. I mean, no one should be no one should play a game at 1 AM, especially when they have work on the next day. So 1 and 2 P1, and they will have 4 points now, and I would include that. In the code, so you will be seeing the change. So you'll be seeing new stuff. Hopefully, it won't break something here. Ah, wrong results. Sorry. There we go. I got it. It doesn't break anything, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so with that, we are ready to provide new odds for the lower echelon championship matches, and also the I mean, just only UQ versus HPG again, and also the challengers to the lower echelon. So we have now P2 versus SZ. It has... Okay. SZ is predicted to win 3-2, but the odds are very interesting, because SZ has 1.99 as the odds, and P2 has 2.01 as the odds. Okay, this is going to be a big fight, and I don't think you want to miss any single action there. How about 10180 versus Rats? What is the prediction here? Rats is predicted to win 3-2, but also the odds are very close. 10180 with 2.1 odds and Reds with 1.91 odds. So I think both matches could go either way. It's going to be really hard to find out. And I mean, with that, officially 10180 is out of top 16 in power rating. The only I mean, we have 10180 and EOS out of top 16 in the power rating. And if 10180 loses to Rats, then they are confirmed to be out of top 16 in the power rating. Although they've beaten Rats 3-0 the first time, can Rats do a revenge and win against 10180? And this is a more important match for these two teams, so they must win in order to qualify to tomorrow. How about finally, UQ versus HPG again, a rematch. UQ is predicted to win 3-1 this time. The scoreline has widened, but HPG still predicted to take home one match win at least. So I will update that here. Right, going to say hello to everyone so far. Okay, and I'll add a point now. You're saying Brown will get knocked out. The hate against Brown. Oh my god, the audacity to say this. They are already through, so they are not going to get knocked out tonight. If we ignore Brown, then we will have P2 with 35%. So you are thinking P2 will get knocked out here. Not the copy pasta. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Lolly kind of explained why P2 hesitates, and that is because they have different team rosters. So the team has really weak team chemistry, which we can see with their hesitations in their pushes. And I think with more time and experience, this will improve. They would know when to push and stuff like that. And I think this season will be good for them. I think they can also review the streams and figure out when to get a push. And sometimes it's all about the numbers. If you can count the tanks plus guess where the tanks are, then you will get the information to push. So it all depends on the caller. The caller is going to be a really important figure in the team to make these calls. And as a team player, you don't want you want to commit to the cause and question the cause later on, because the worst problem is hesitation, and if people hesitate, then everything will not work. So yeah, so this is pretty much it. Yes, I could. Now everyone's saying every team has very weak team chemistry. Oh, okay. Because I was pretty much Google translating what you said, more focused, but thank you for clarification. But yeah, it's easier route by going to Asia, but still he didn't get top 8, so... So is this what he wants in the end? I don't think so, but I digress. Hi, Jenny. Yes, I see what you mean by the competition, especially with the influx of the newer teams from the CIS server. EU server has become increasingly competitive. I would have argued that the competition will be somewhat similar before the incorporation of the CIS server. Now it's very apparent that EU server is just a lot more competitive, and the standard has just increased substantially. So I won't argue if you say that EU server is just a lot better than the APAC server. Yes, I mean, I won't disagree with you at all. APAC server has a lot to do. I haven't watched any streams from the NA server, but NA server is also struggling with problems in the competition and no new players coming in. I mean, 2021 they have a couple of new clans and players coming in, but I don't think that a lot of them have maintained, or a lot of them have continued, or maybe I'm wrong. And I think also the NA server has an issue with veteran players leaving, and APAC server, this problem is not as big. But I also think that APAC server's competitiveness is also not as big as last year. Because last year when I'm talking about the professional tournament, I mean before the games begin, there are 6 teams that could really fight for the top 4, and this season there are also like 6 teams, but I think as I saw the games, that the kind of the standard is, I mean there is some differences in the standard and so on. And there are 2 really new teams, Riri and also Nomad, which they are quite inexperienced, but if they continue to play in the future seasons, I am very, very sure they could improve a lot and become one of the competitive clans on the APAC server. P2 also have inexperienced leaders. Yeah. Right, so I mean, I can chat. I mean, people, you can ask me questions, and I mean, try to answer Clan Wars questions. I mean, these questions, I will have a better idea on how to answer them. But also, I mean, for last year, I mean, you can also put Ho into the fray. They have shown some really promising stuff. I mean, they are pretty much new clan back then, and they now since changed their clan tag to GRS and pretty much combined with HLV. So you just got one clan out of the way. I mean, Apex server, we also saw some interesting clans coming up, like Brown. Brown is a clan that I think could get even better. I think one thing they want to improve will be communication. I think this is something that they sometimes struggle with. And I think with better communication overall and more efficient communication, they can really improve and do really nicely. As for the EU server, yes, I think they are just really good right now. And they have shown some of the best gameplays I've ever seen. Last year, I think they were stalling, but this year they really improved. They improved a lot, and if I were to say, an offline final will be held this year, then my money would be on a final of 2 EU teams. To be honest with you, I think it's that good at the moment. I haven't really seen any service, so I can't say about some of the top teams, but I do think they can challenge the EU teams, like Jokers and so on. They can do really well, and the APAC server ID is a clan that I think could do really well in an offline tournament. I think they can be competitive. They can be a nuisance to other teams. But I do think that APAC server is on an upward trajectory. I think they just have to keep on training and improving themselves and learn from other clans. I think also with some EU players playing on the ALE server last year, especially, that has given a lot of insight to the NA teams coming from the EU server, and yeah, that meant that NA server is able to improve a lot there, and potentially, I don't know. APAC has come a really long way, to be honest with you. You can't say they are like a really weak server. It's not like that again. It's not like that now. If ID can potentially be a competitive team, even for the EU top 8, but then it's going to be really hard to prove, because the geographic constraints meant that ping is going to be a huge factor, huge barrier in this situation. But yeah, do I think ID would win this season? They look really strong, but they can be inconsistent, so we will see. P1 looks like good challenges to me, but also Risk. Risk won the summer season and had a really high power rating. I also think they can challenge for the win, and it all remains to be seen for the 4th clan in Blitz Ultimate Cup. RN at the moment is struggling. I do think they could potentially be the 4th place team, but with the performance against GRS now, I am a bit worried. RN is even more inconsistent here. GRS is also sometimes inconsistent, and that remains. I mean, we only have GV here, but they are also inconsistent. So it all depends on which 3 teams are the least inconsistent, and maybe they are able to get into top 4. Riri was able to win against GRS, so I'm very interested to see where they are able to. Generate a couple more upsets. Finally got a word. If they are able to provide a couple more upsets, maybe they have an outside chance in getting into top 4. Well, we will see. Why are we waiting? Let me just start a poll again. P2 vs SZ. I mean, SZ played really well against PTW, especially last few matches. They were very nice to see, and you can show the determination in knocking out PTW and get into the top 16. They truly deserve to be in the top 16, by the way. They had some tough seeding, but they deserve to be here. Winter Fox, APAC upward trajectory. No, I'm not joking about that. I really have faith in APAC server. Please have faith in yourselves. I mean, what I'm seeing with ID, one example there, is that they know how to hit point push there. They can focus fire, something like that, and that's what the top teams do on the EU server. And I just hope that APAC could continue to improve, really. I mean, if there are offlines, then yeah, then I hope this is going to inspire more teams to play. And I hope with me streaming this season, it's also going to encourage more people to play. I mean, I love the community on the APAC server. If we don't dive into some of the individual stuff, but they have a good. They're really trying to help one another, trying to do better, do as well as they could to improve the Cloud War scene, which I would like to say huge thank you to. I mean, these players in the top 8 you're seeing here, they're pretty much keeping Cloud War's Asia alive, and they are sure they want to learn. They want to learn from the best, and they want to provide the best gameplays as possible. And especially since last year, I think Cloud Wars Asia Blitz, Cloud Wars Asia server and the community, which it consists of officials coming from the top 8 clans, they have been instrumental in keeping the community together and provide some events that makes the scene more worthwhile to watch and more exciting to watch. Although very sad to see the second season of the Blitz Asia Cup, or I don't know, the CWA Blitz Cup hasn't gone to fruition, hasn't come to fruition. I really want to see them hold that tournament again, because that is a great tournament to watch. And yeah. And the room is up. I'm going to go in before I wobble on for too long and forgot to join the room and ready up. Okay, now we have SZ versus P2, but yeah. But yes, I say, really hope they continue and provide some great stuff for the community, and the future of the Asia APAC server is in their hands. Also, I mean, one important thing to add with the Cloud Wars Asia community is that with the setup of this community, we can see different clans not to say trading, but communicating with one another more. And I mean, they train with one another more often, and also I think, for example, some of the clans like RN, you would not expect well, Lancelot. I'm not sure if Lancelot was in RN before, but this is a name that was recognizable like in E7, if I remember correctly. And I mean, for clans to kind of be friends with one another and also communicate stuff, really nice to see. And I mean, with a good community, with healthy competition, I'm sure things will start to grow. And if teams want to spend time with one another to review all the strategies, something like that, which almost happened, I'm really glad to see that happening again, and really hope that with the exchange of ideas and also reviewing matches on the EU server, I mean, they're really good matches. I don't know, learn more about them. I'm just being too optimistic, although I mean, the reality of the situation might not be that optimistic, but I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible for the APAC server, because I have a lot of expectations for them. But let's go. SZ versus P2. We have SZ. Will they continue? Hello YouTube. Hello Maki.
Go.
How are you doing? They were determined. They were determined against BTW. Are they determined against P2? We will find out now. Is someone not aware of the stream today? Well, we will see P2 going to A and a couple of tanks near B as well. SZ on the other hand will send tanks near C. Are they going to make a big push here? Maybe not, because Blanks will get the spots in. And they're going to go straight into C, try to get the cap lead first, but they will have competition. P2 is trying to cap A, but SZ has already lost some hit points with Piranha. Great shot onto Apsis. Bounces a shot there too. With A captured now, it's going to be SZ that has a cap lead because they got C more quickly here. And we have Hu Tao in the touch 71. It's a bounce. Oh, but Tom Killer gets a shot from the other side, which is Maki. So what SZ needs to do, they need to bleed P2, frustrate them, and they have tanks to look at B, and they need to stop Apsis from getting B. If SZ can conserve their hit points and bleed P2 as much as they could, which they have done a good job in chipping away hit points of Cali, they will be able to be in a good position to prevent P2 from getting a good push. But the pressure point will definitely be on Maki in the concept 1B, but he is very, very far away from the, very close to the red line. I mean, P2 has to go a really, really long way to take out Maki, and I hope Maki knows what to do if he gets pushed, or I don't know. Yeah. So far, not a lot of stuff is happening. P2 still figuring out what to do, but they have some time. We are really talking about 1 more minute to go. Or is it not? No, 2 more minutes to go. 2 more minutes to go for Peter to work out how to push and find the weakness in SZ line. Not exactly the most robust defensive line for SZ. I think one weakness would be near would be this flank, and obviously you don't want to push Maki. Maki is going to be spotting a lot of tanks in. They will push into nothingness, and this is exactly what P2 is doing. But they got spotted. Well done to Sheridan here. Shiroko spotted that push up, and SZ, they will have to get ready now. They have the information they need. They need to start getting into position. Piranha, great call, trying to get B. This is a good sneaky move, but Apsis might be able to reset that. That's a great shot to reset, but I think now attention has turned to P2, whether they're able to get B or whether they're able to get Piranha out of the way. Piranha needs to stay safe, but that they have scored another bounce here. I mean, look at P2, they're really struggling in the push. And I think they have changed their ideas because they know they can't push onto C anymore. But this hesitation is going to cost them the games. Piranha is very, very low. If he does not survive, then the cap lead will be to P2. I think P2 knows this. P2, they want to kill Piranha, and Piranha needs to stay alive. Yubi will be able to put that shot in, or maybe not. He is lining up that shot. But Piranha bounces! Oh! Blanks kills Piranha. Now the Capos are in favor of P2. And SZ has decided to make a push. And it's all down to the focus fire right now. But P2, now there are more tanks there. Daytona and also Shironko needs to save the team. Needs to connect with the rest of the team. They can't do it with only 3 tanks. They need help. Hu Tao is now really, really low. And hit points are still in favor of SZ at the moment, but Apsis is now down. That is important, but Daytona and also Shiroka can't stay at the back. They need to start supporting their team because this is a huge fight. They must win this fight. As said, they still have their cap lead But the hit point pulley, they are now struggling to get the hit point pulley back. And Daytona is really allowing E-Cannon and also Russia from Russia from being isolated, and E-Cannon is going to die. Collie is going to get that kill, and the M60 finally comes in, but way too late in my opinion. But as said, will get A. That is important, and they will get the win here. That is a really tough win for SZ. They got it in the end. I think they were doing everything correctly up until the very end, where they almost lost it because there was a heavy tank sitting behind. You don't really want to do that. You're allowing your team, especially when SZ is in a numerical disadvantage. You don't want to. You want to be at the top, on top of your game when it comes to numbers. If it's another team, then those tanks could be taken out really quickly. And SZ needs to not do that. A light tank behind, sniping from behind is understandable because they can relocate very quickly, but not a heavy tank. Heavy tank can't relocate quickly, and they really have to be on the front line area, not close to where the team is. And yeah, and I think the winning move for SZ is getting A. If Sirocco does not get A, they're going to lose. But P2, I think they just have to commit to a push. Rotating back to the spawn is an idea I would go for. But if you get spotted, I think just go in maybe. I don't know. Worth gambling. It's not that P2 is fighting against ID. They're worth gambling. Not to say SZ is a bad team, but you know what I mean. Worth gambling sometimes. An obvious move might still work because the other team just does not have the best focus and communication. So sometimes make a gamble. Maybe it doesn't work. Doesn't matter. It can be clear that it doesn't work in the end. I mean, there's a good reason that it could not work, but sometimes matches are worth gambling. You know, not in the sense of like, you know, of gambling in normal world, but yeah. Naki says, I love you too, PT. Both teams showing love to one another. But we're going to be seeing Sirocco. I just can't get Sirocco. What's the... There we go. I just missed them trying to spot P2 here. But P2 is going to A. While SZ, they don't have a lot of information. They're going to stay behind. But Sirocco gets shots at while running away. Great shot from Laotian. And with SZ, are they going to make a surprise somewhere? I think they have an idea. Russia is ready to reset B if Yumi gets in there, but they are not spotted, so Yumi will have to gamble a lot. So we'll take a really huge risk if they do that. Because P2 does not have a lot of information, they're not going to make any big calls so far. Russia is going to go ill. E-Cannon's been spotted. Holiday has spotted E-Cannon. But Holiday is going to run away because P2 is going to get... Oh, I think I saw a reset here. Darren got reset. And they are trying to get A again. Yumi gets shot at. But we're seeing E-Cannon trying to get C. But A will be captured by P2 because Holiday manages to reset C. And can... Oh, E-Cannon get C? Yes, they could. But Holiday gets shot at by a lot, thanks to Sirocco. So the hit points are still in favor of SZ, and is P2 feeling up for a push? They're going to commit to this push. Good luck to P2. This is going to be a hard push. This is exactly what SZ wants P2 to do. But P2 might be gambling on SZ being bad on communication, and so far, SZ is holding up well. And P2, will they continue to push? Because Piranha is obviously an isolated tank. But they're stopping at the moment, allowing SZ to now regroup and kill the tanks of P2 out of the way. SZ has now made a counter push. This is looking really good for SZ at the moment. Darren is now dead, and Kali is getting the focus from SZ. Hu Tao bounces the shots, but this is looking really good for SZ at the moment. Ekanon, great shot onto Kali, and Maki is turning the attention onto... I'm not sure what is Maki trying to kill Hu Tao? Oh, we are seeing mutiny on SZ's team. Teammates shooting one another because they disagree with the focus fire, maybe. But SZ, they are trying to get Tom Kill off the way, but P2 is trying to get Russia out of the way, and they got it. Ekanon will try to put a shot, but SZ again bounces. A lot of bounces. Take some time, take time, and aim. It's okay. You have the advantage, don't worry. So we have Abscess killed here, and that leaves you be the last person standing. Well done to SZ. They held up well. And I think their teamwork was okay. They just have to get more shots in. The penetrations, they have a couple of bounces, but I think the major issue is P2. That push. Commit to that push. Don't stop there. I mean, the instance that they stopped, SZ regrouped quickly and they bled a lot. That was a great opportunity to isolate a tank there of SZ, where before 60TP is able to rotate. Remember, 60TP does not have good mobility, so if P2 rushes that isolated tank quickly enough, I think it was one of the Type 71s, I don't think 60TP is able to do a lot of damage, to be honest with you. So, P2, be confident in your moves. Sometimes a move that might seem to go horribly wrong could turn out to be alright, could turn out to be a close one. You never know. And that is sometimes what U team does. They gamble on moves. They think this move is going to work without knowing. I mean, as a spectator, I can see that this move is going to work because there is some kind of advantage there. The teams that are playing at the moment, they don't know if this is going to be a good call. They are seeing potential weaknesses, but they don't know if that is a trap. But you don't want to think too much here. Sometimes less is better. Less is more. Just think simple. I'm just contradicting myself a lot here, but we are now into Dynasty's Pearl. SZ now leading 2-0. If they win the next one, they are going to qualify to the final stage, which I am going to be really happy if they do so. Well done. Happy is rooting for HPG, and a lot of people are rooting for Nomad.
Let's go.
Right. Wrong team tax on the stream? No. That's the right team tax here. We're seeing SZ versus P2. P2 is going to go to the park side, and SZ is also going to the park side, and look at Hu Tao. Let's get away from this for a moment and go to the other side, because we see SZ potentially making a push onto P2, and are they going to be aggressive? P2 is holding up well so far, but SZ is seriously pressuring. They are feeling confident. They are feeling very confident, but have they overcommitted? Have they just got a bit too impatient? This is a call. This is a big risk. Are they committing to this risk? Are they going to do something out of this? E-Cannon is pulling back. Really good job here. And SZ is focusing onto Abscess. Abscess is not long for this well. The first time down, but Rushia wasted the shell here and will go down. E-Cannon will go down, but I think SZ this time. Oh my god! It's an Aberrack onto Carly! Oh my lord, how many hit points did they have at that point? Now it has gone a lot closer. Daytona is finally dead, but then Maki is also very, very low. SZ definitely feeling it. Feeling the push and something like that, but I think it has happened too early. Way too early. And there are a couple of bounces, two big bounces there onto Yubi. Surely P2 has this one. P2 holding up well, absorbing the push of SZ well. Well, maybe this risk might not be a good risk here. I think it was a bit too risky, and I would not have made that call. I think I would have waited a little bit for P2 to lose more hit points. I mean, it's just 5 cat points of 2 seconds of increase. There is a lot of time to whittle down the hit points of P2. But look at Piranha. Piranha just bouncing all the shells. SZ just need those shots in. They are bouncing a lot of shells, and this is hurting them in this match. So well done to P2, and that's that. I hope their hard-fought wins on Rockfield won't be wasted here, but this is going to get really close. Oh, did I shout not bad versus Riri in the first time? I don't know. Okay, I've made a mistake at the start. Oh my gosh, that is embarrassing. This is not. It happens from time to time. So I kind of spoiled what team I will follow in the 5th round, which is Nomad versus Ruri. So you know that. Okay, tonight's night stream isn't really the best stream, I think. It's not best. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, SZ and P2. Oh, because to end the poll, you're saying P2 is going to win. Yes. They are wrong. It's like for a moment. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Feast is risk. Risk is feast. Oh my gosh. There we go in. I'm cackling. I'm just cackling. Oh my gosh, this is this can be included in one of the many stream fails that I have. But you know, I'm not known for commentary. I'm known for stream fails, and it happens from time to time. And this puts me in a really bad position as an official wargaming commentator, because I always have some bloopers on my stream. But here we go. This time SZ and P2 are going to the temple side. It's not Lost Temple, sorry. It's Dynasty's Pearl. They are going to the city, and we're seeing Hu Tao just going straight into Wei. I mean, no, they are, wow, really aggressive there. But SZ just has like everyone near A. I think this could descend into pandemonium very soon. But Hu Tao is very aggressive, losing hit points. SZ is bleeding at this moment here. If E cannot get speed, that could drop the ball. He is spotted. Does he have shots on Tom Killer? Yes! But it's a bounce though. Hu Tao is now really low. He is in a really tough position. And I don't think he's going to survive for long. B is going to be captured, but I don't think that is going to be important. Are they going to make a push? I think a push could be good. Onto Abscess and Ocean. These are isolated tanks. I would go for these tanks. SZ needs to commit to that, but they are bouncing shots though. The hit points are in huge favor of P2 because they have done a good job in bleeding SZ. At the moment, SZ is trying to get Abscess out of the way, but they're struggling at the moment. They're shooting one another, so that's great to see. But they've lost almost 2 tanks now for this move. Hu Tao is now dead, and Mouse and Piranha is trying to call for focus on their behalf. But with Maki turning the attention to Yumi now, Shiroko and Russia is trying to go for Lonely Ocean. Maki might want to support the team on that. Piranha is now really low. Now Nikon is trying to support the rest of SZ team, trying to take both Yumi and also Lonely Ocean. But they really need to sort out the focus fire because they look a little bit confused here. And it's now 3 versus 5, 3 versus 4. But this is surely not going to go in favor of P2 SZ. They will lose Russia, and this leaves 2 more tanks alive for SZ. Valiant effort from SZ. I think again the issue is their shots didn't pen. Great ram onto Darren, and I think the push should have come slightly earlier when the Type 71 that is really aggressive DRA is bleeding a lot. A push at that point could have worked brilliantly. And that said, has now lost 2 in a row, and we're now going to a tiebreaker. P2 obviously have better individual skills, and they also have good, and they can bleed as much as they could. Well done to P2. 5 tanks doing more than 2k, but SZ, I think they were trying their best with their focus fire. I know that they are doing a good job with the focus fire. This is something they should continue, but get your shots penetrated. And also, obviously focus fire is good, but they also have to start complicating their focus fire a little bit more when it comes to the 2 tanks on the other side trying to work with one another there. I'm not sure if they focus fire, but if they do, then it's good effort, but in the end it was difficult. Now we're on to New Bay. It's now 2-2. And it all depends here now. Hi, Napoleon. Thanks for the wishes. Right. C-cap is aesthetic. No way. Oh my gosh, aesthetic. Oh my god, it's giving aesthetic. My lord. We'll go into New Bay. And we'll go up high, and we will see SZ. Can they bring it home, or will P2 dent SZ hopes? SZ, all they need to do, get their shots in. Penetrate your shots. P2, bleed them as much as you want to. SZ with Shiroko going into B, great call there. But P2 will put most of the tanks onto C though. But maybe not. They only leave 1 tank there, which means SZ will get a cap lead. They're trying to blind fire, but nothing has penetrated. B has been captured. But Shiroko's trying to run away! Dodges a shell. Very lucky not to be absolutely shut down here. Now successfully runs away, but bumps into the heavy tanks. Shiroko be like, back off, let me go. And they let me go. And they turn back and puts up an angry look to these 3 heavy tanks. Don't do that again. You don't want to anger Shiroko. Shiroko, calm down now. Great shot onto the ocean by Daytona. With Shiroko going into A, running around trying to get all the caps. You know, P2 will be in a big cap disadvantage if A has been captured, and you can hear the ship horn yelling behind the scenes. So SZ looks very solid at the back, but P2 is now committed. Oh, Yumi gets shot at, and they were on fire for a moment. But will SZ make a move on the outside? Shiroko needs to make a move. Maki and also Rusia, are they trying to get Lonely Laotian out of the way? They are ready for the crossfire. But then at the same time, Daytona has received a double tap. But P2 got B. P2 got the cap. Will get the cap lead back soon. SZ is defending, and they need to share hit points. They need to focus fire. Maybe not there while defending. It's gonna be really hard. Will they push onto the E100s? But the T100 LT could be T100 LT. No. Shiroko is like, brawl or no brawl? Maybe no brawl, because I think the better idea is to push onto these E100s. They are isolated. Type 71s, they have a lot of hit points, so we will see what they're going to do. They really need to get it sorted. Oh, we could see shots trying to go onto Rusia. This is getting really close actually, but the time is running out for SZ. They absolutely have to get the tanks out and get the caps back. And they're trying to rush onto Tom Killer. They need to start consolidating, because if they don't, this can be huge for P2. P2 potentially can push onto these 2 tanks here now. P2 has a numerical advantage near B. They have the big opportunity to push, but SZ is also losing some hit points. They really need to start killing tanks off. They aren't really doing that at the moment here. The E100s are still alive, and it's really, they're doing a lot of damage here, and it's really not a good idea to lose for those E100s to do a lot of damage. Now P2 has made a decision to push onto Hu Tao and also Piranha. That's a good call. And Hu Tao is now down to a 1-shot and will be killed. Meanwhile, SZ is struggling to kill the tanks off. They're trying to get C, and the E100 is still alive. And that's not good focus fire there. They're struggling with getting the kills now. P2 is now hit point push sharing, and Piranha is trying to stay alive as much as they could. But there's a tank finally out. The Lonely Laotian is finally dead, and Yi Canon is trying to get Yumi out of the way. Rusia is trying to put shots onto Yumi. This is still anyone's game to call. But with another tank down, Yumi is dead. Holiday is in B. Why is he in B though? That is really interesting. If Holiday gets taken out, this is going to be a really good game for SZ. Russia gets Holiday out. Maki is out of the way. And Shiroko in the T100 LT is going to brawl against the E100 of Tom Killer. SZ finally gets speed, and they will get a cap lead back. And Shiroko will be hoping that... Oh, it's a miss! It's a bounce! Oh no, Shiroko is now dead. Tom Killer gets the T100 LT out. And the cap points are still in favor of 3-2 because of that kill. All for SZ to do is to stay alive. The hit points are in favor of SZ, and P2, they are going to lose this one if they aren't able to get more caps at the tank cell. I mean, at the same time, you have A that could be captured by P2. They are not doing that at the moment, but yeah, Apsis is going for A. Apsis is going for A. E Canon will be trying to get C. This is going to be intense, edge of the seat stuff. But now P2 has no caps that that they have at the moment. C is going to be captured. B is heavily defended by SZ. So theoretically, there is nothing that P2 could do at this point unless Sarah is able to get kills left, right, and center. Piranha needs to land a big shot onto Theron. Theron shots. Daytona, now is the time to put a shot in. But maybe not. Maybe Theron will be looking at... Oh, Theron shot again. Should have waited for Daytona. But no. Theron is killed. PSZ is officially through to the grand final. Well done to SZ. Phew, that was a tough game. But I was very worried about SZ not taking out the double E100s there. They are not mouses. They are not mouses, but they also did a lot of damage here. Look at Tom Killer. And also the Lonely Laotian doing 5k in total. Had SZ killed these two tanks out more quickly, that could have been a lot more comfortable for them. P2, I think they I mean, the E100 is obviously the bait and the pivot point for the push, but they left so many tanks behind, and especially Holiday. What is he doing in B there? I mean, I think they captured B in the end, probably. Very suspicious, to be honest with you. I might have completely missed what Holiday was doing at this point, so maybe it's not fair for me to blame Holiday for staying at B. Maybe he was just capturing B at that moment in time. As for P2, I think that push is a good idea. I'm not sure if they have left way too late. I mean, the caps definitely is a bit of a you know, of a trickster, kind of convincing P2 not to push. But that, I mean, also at the same time, as that is so spread out, that was a huge opportunity for P2 to further their cap lead with the kills. So maybe they can learn something from this match. But I have to say, SZ really deserves to be in the next round. I'd really love to see them trying as hard as they could with the focus fire. Strategically, I think they are also better than P2. They are not afraid to make bold calls, but they really need to get their shells in. This is their biggest downfall in some of the losses we are seeing here, and sometimes they just have to I mean, they just have to be more confident in finding out isolated tanks and commit to the kills there. So pretty much I think SZ is just the individual skills they need to improve at this point. But huge welcome to SZ tonight. Toxicity in the chat, lol. Okay, so we have SZ winning. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the results of other matches. Let's look at Challengers Tournament. Challengers Tournament, we have DT versus Rats. Rats have knocked out 101 AD. Well done to Rats here. They've got their revenge. 3-0. That is brutal. Oof. How about Lower Echelon Championship? We have UQ versus HPG. That is going to happen soon. IBP has knocked out Minnows. Uh, 3-0. ARWV has knocked out CX and Z. 3-0. Finally, KM versus S. That will be happening in around 15 minutes. Not a lot of time. So thank you all for watching the stream. 71 people watching at the moment. Huge thank you for the big support once again. But you saw SZ putting up a good fight. Three really good wins. But I wish all the best for P2. I think they need more experience, and I think they need more training. If they want to be more competitive in future seasons. But hey, I have faith in them. They have really good players. They have some. I mean, they surely have better individual skills than SZ. they just need to train on pushing, making calls. I think it's pretty much a strategy department that they need to improve. As for assets, the individual skills is something that they need to improve, and they are going to be up against Brown, which they're good in these two aspects. They have good individual skills for some players. I know they bounce a lot of shots at times, and they also have really good strategies. So this is going to be one heck of a fight. There we go. Alright. The next match is at around 30 minutes, so ignore the words in the bracket here. So ignore that. I can't be bothered to change my code for this. So your top 4 clans in Challenges Tournament are Brown, SZ, DT, and Rats. And I'm going to call Mapbox for the odds for Brown versus SZ and also DT versus Rats. So bear with me on this. So, Brown is predicted to win SZ 3-0. How about DT versus Rats? Rats is predicted to win 3-2 here. Interesting. We will see what's the final result here. So once again, let me bring you to this screen. So the round 5 games have not begun. And we have Brown, SZ, DT, Rats, and also that will be happening very soon. UQ versus XPG, that will also happen very soon. Has Badbox made the right predictions? We'll see. Going to interact with the chat at the moment. So you all jinxed P2 in winning, and that set off through. So that means start up home again. Brown or SZ? Start voting now. Okay, 7 more minutes to go. Let me change the screen. Okay, so I don't have much to say. I think I'm going to use this time to, you know, change my PowerPoint, because I really need to be prepared for tomorrow. A really long day actually, so I'm going to be prepared for that. And hopefully I will have everything prepared by then. Let's see if I have a better. Okay, it's good still. Right. Now I should be getting a room invite soon. And thank you for 27 likes already. Can we break the 100 viewer barrier tonight? It's going to be quite unlikely because this is a challenge server, but at the very least, we have more viewers than the EU server stream. So at least we have, I mean, at least there is an audience for my stream for the APAC server. So thank you very much. And there we go. Room is up or not? Is room up? Up room is room. Is up room? Room is up? No? Okay, me. Where is my room invite? I need my room invite. Or is it a little bit later than expected? Okay, so 5 more minutes to go. So it starts at 42 past, not 40 past. Interesting. So, I mean, look, I mean, also, AZ has qualified to the grand final with 2 tiebreakers, 3-2. So they're definitely good at tiebreakers. They can absorb the pressure well. And now Brown versus SZ. SZ, I think they have defied all expectations here. They have performed better than what they should have. They should. Because I think before the South River Skill Tournament, nobody would have predicted SZ to be in the top 16. And now they are in the top 12. What an achievement there. I think SZ, I have a lot of expectations for your team in the next few seasons, and I wish all the best for you. Brown, on the other hand, they are going for the following on Naval Frontier. Bet for SZ. Will SZ defy the odds? Originally predicted for a 3-0 victory for Brown, and everything is still possible. Yesterday we saw Raid beating Serenity despite being at 16.01 odds. It's not at the 5,000 over 1 odds, not the Leicester City winning the Premier League odds yet, but still remarkable. I mean, 16.01, that's, if you, I mean, doing the calculation, we're talking about 94% of, I mean, not 94, around 6% of winning chances for Raid here. 4 point something is definitely not a huge number there, but if Raid can win with around 6% of chance, SZ can do it if they know how to. And I'm very sure if they continue to focus fire, if they continue to make good pushes, they can do it. Brown, they don't want to underestimate SZ. Underestimate at your own peril. And Brown, they need to continue to do really well. And so far so good for Brown. They're still tied. They're still favorites in winning the entire thing, and we will see. SZ, they are going with 7 tanks. Meanwhile, Brown is also going with 7 tanks. And we're on Naval Frontier, so where would they go? Where would these 7 tanks go? Would they go separately, or would they go together? Or, I don't know. Are they going to boost some tanks up, Naval Frontier? I think the boosts have been blocked, so you can't really do that now. I would love to see boosts, but Wargaming had decided to block them off, which is sad. Maybe this is the time to send a petition to Wargaming to unblock the boosts. But then, also you can argue that the boost will give teams an advantage. But then, not every team can win with boost strat. We will see. Now, let's get into the room here. SZ going for quintuple Type 71s, 1 T110 E5 and the T100 LT. Meanwhile, Brown will go for a 60 TP or 2 60 TPs, quadruple Type 71s and WZ103 Strasny and the 60 TP. Ultimate on the substitute bench, and we will watch both teams play out on Naval Frontier. This is merely a seeding match. It does not have lots of weight as compared to the lower bracket final, this is going to decide the seeding. But I'm very sure that it doesn't really matter at this point because these 4 teams are so closely matched. It will be reflected in the power rating as well after tomorrow's matches. And you will see that the top 12, apart from ARWV, consists of these 4 clans. So we will go into Neighbor Frontier. It will be BRWN versus SZ. Who will prevail? BRWN and SZ. Looking at this lineup, loads of Type 71s. We're talking about Jack Cupo Type 71s across the board. So many. Mackie says, thanks for watching. Oh, and it's Siraj being fat-phobic here. Yikes. Deserves to be cancelled here right now. Being fat-phobic, yikes. Memento. In that 1-3. Trying to go to the bush here. And spotted up Hu Tao here. Puts a shot in. And we're going to be seeing Horizon try to get C here. With SZ. Some tanks being spotted. Horizon will get a cat lead for BRWN. And BRWN, they will have to absorb the push potentially from SZ. But Hu Tao dropping into A. But he does not know that Strashny is in position to reset. Just take the left side of the circle. No one is shooting from the right. Potentially Memento is there to do that now. We will see it now. It's a reset shot, but it doesn't hit anything. Now Shiroko has spotted some tanks potentially in the T1 LT. SZ is giving up on capturing A. They're trying to capture C instead. This is a move that I think BRWN might not have expected. And SZ, if they decide to push, I think this can be a good call. But they need to continue to whittle down hit points. I think SZ might have an idea here. Horizon now. I don't think that might be a good call. Trying to do a 1 versus 1 when they don't have a lot of hit points. Ecan just need to put all their shells in, but it's not going to be a difficult job for SZ to take out Horizon. Horizon, I think, made a huge misplay here. And he is going to go down, and SZ does not have the hit point put advantage still because BRWN has made a call to push onto Wei. Hu Tao is in deep trouble. Horizon is now dead. Is SZ trying to push onto Manny? If they make this push, go for it. Go for it. Maki is going to take out, is going to go up. They are trying to get Manny out of the way. Gobu is going to turn the other way and try to put a shot onto Manny, but Hu Tao is finally dead. It's now 6 versus 6. Hitpoint still not in favor of SZ at the moment. SZ needs to put their shots in. They got their shots in, and they are now looking for Mr. Insane. I like that their hit list has been sorted, and Sirocco is looking for Mr. Insane now. Great shot there, but don't ram into Mr. Insane. He won't ram into Mr. Insane. Kick is going to focus for SZ. SZ is really sorting out the hit list really nicely, and SZ, if they put all their shells in, Mr. Insane is now dead. BRWN might be in trouble, but they got B as well. So the pressure is now onto SZ to get all the tanks out. But they have the numerical advantage. We will see Shiroko coming from behind. Put a good shell onto Kick. But SZ definitely needs the kills. With Maki staying alive, Kick is now dead. Ecanon's trying to go for Memento. I can see SZ now gets the momentum, but Maki is now dead. Great shots onto Strashny from afar. And Ecanon is now dropping down, potentially, but still brawling with Memento. Takes a shot here. And Strashny is looking for... Oh, great kill from Shiroko. Definitely denying Strashny from getting Ecanon. Ecanon needs to reload. Shiroko definitely player of the match here. Great shots onto Memento here by Canon. Russia spots nothing, leaving Siraj the last person standing. Well done to SZ. Oh, Memento gets toxic towards his team. I don't think it's being toxic towards SZ here. Brown definitely not happy about this match, and I can understand that. And Siraj keeps on saying that F word. Not something to joke about, to be honest with you. But SZ, great push, great focus fire. They are looking solid. Are they actually contenders for winning Challengers Tournament? This could be it. This could be the match. That is showing everyone that SZ, don't underestimate them. If they continue to improve, SZ, oh my goodness me, I can see SZ can be terrifying. Brown. Memento, I think, just got a little bit too ambitious with that 1 versus 1. But it also doesn't make sense when Memento doesn't have enough hit points to brawl 1 versus 1. I mean, yes, SZ bounce their shells, but they have to bounce 2 or more shells in order for Memento to win that 1 versus 1. It's not really the time to make that sort of gamble. That was definitely a misplay there. So now SZ, I think their goal is to win as many matches as they could. When they won against Brown is already an achievement in itself, when the power rating is that big of a difference at the moment. But Brown, quadruple type 70, quintuple type 71s, double 60 TPs, SZ going for quadruple type 71s, 1 concept 1B, 160 TP, and a Sheridan. You don't have fan containers for the stream this time round, but do have an eye on the future streams, and Morgan will tell me when they will set up the prices. So let's go. SZ versus Brown. Brown so far on the advantage here, and we will find out now. No, SZ on the advantage. I am so sorry for messing that up. Have I updated scoreboard? Nope, I haven't. Let me do that very quickly. Brown versus SZ. SZ originally losing against Brown in the first one, and now they're trying to get a revenge. Let's look at Sheridan Shiroko. Can he spot some tanks of Brown? Brown going to see this time, but SZ, ooh, 3 tanks en masse onto B. Brown, are they ready for the strategy? Are they ready to reset B, or are they going to let that go for now? Shots onto SZ, trying to get B. SZ isn't able to return fire for now, so Brown will have the advantage with the hit points, but SZ will have the advantage with the cap points because they will get A as well. Toko has taken a couple of hits, but the focus fire of Brown isn't really it for now. SZ will have to do a lot better than Brown in terms of the focus fire, in terms of trading, but they are whistling down hit points of Brown at the moment. But look at this, great shot onto kick by Maki. So at the moment, SZ is still bleeding. E-Cannon could go down very soon. He has to hope that no one is able to take him out, but it's not the case. E-Cannon has been taken out. I think that initial strategy is a little bit too ambitious, which just seems to work in favor of SZ at all. Now Brown has the numerical advantage, he just need to find a way to push, but SZ is still bleeding them nicely. Hu Tao is in a bit of trouble here. Mr. Insane puts a good shot into Hu Tao. SZ is spread out. SZ is not bunched up together. This is an issue here. Maki takes a hit while trying to support. But look at this. I think Daytona and also Toko trying to take out ultimates. This is the target they want to go for, or maybe not. Horizon coming from behind, trying to take out Maki. Hu Tao is now dead, but also looking at a push coming from SZ, trying to take out Siraj. But it's a bounce onto Siraj by Rushia. Maki is now dead. Toko and also Daytona is trying to take out ultimate. I think S is trying to make it as close as they could, but simply there are too many hit points for Brown's side. I don't think they are able to make a comeback here. It's a kill onto ultimate, and with Siraj finally dead, momentum is a focus for SZ. SZ trying their focus, trying to get their focus in as much as they could, but it was too much to handle. SZ's initial strategy, I think it didn't work out for them. Not to say that SZ's initial strategy is not working at all. It could work in certain situations, but not the situation. They will have to find out how, they might have to potentially push on one side immediately if things seem to go awry. Finally, with Sirocco the last person standing, this is it for Brown. Brown will get one back. Really great job to Brown. Sirocco, last person standing. Joking. Both teams joking on global chat. You know, both teams are just having fun. Well done to Brown. This is a great match for them. They have dented SS into the strategy. They took out one tank away, away at the very start of the matches, and they built on the momentum from that. And this is brutal. Brown, very comfortable win. Wins like that will give them the victory. So we're now on a different map. We are now onto Yukon. Are we going to be seeing something different? SZ on the other hand, good focus fire. I think they just lost too many hit points at the start. Nothing they could do about it. I like that they make a gamble on capturing B so quickly at the start, but it really didn't work out. Maybe it could have worked out if the triple Type 70 was actually pushed forward instead of pulling backwards, because by pulling backwards, SZ was getting shot by Brown by a lot. So maybe this is what they should do. They should keep on moving forward there, because if they move forward, Brown does not have shots in. And there are 3 tags, so they could actually take the tags out of Brown. Maybe this is something they can learn from this initial strategy. Just keep on pushing forward when they are spotting tanks that are on the other side. As for Brown, they have to keep up this type of performance, and they are going to be taking quintuple Type 71s and a double 1-3. What team I'm streaming tomorrow? I'm going to stream 6 different clans tomorrow, so you'll have a taste of all. You'll have at least get a taste of 6 different clans. Unfortunately, Risk won't be one of them, but I will promise you, Risk will be streamed in the final 3 days. So at least I will get footage for my top 8 highlights, my top 4 highlights. I mean. So this is something that Risk can be confident of. I didn't forget you, Risk, and we will be seeing Mr. Zay going into C, trying to get that cap. B will be captured by Maki. So we're going to be seeing a lot of fighting around the northeastern corner, and with B being captured, double TVPs, they are going to be an interesting call. They have to work well together, but with SZ being good with focus fire, never say never. They just have to work in tandem. That's all they need to do. But also at the same time, Piranha is in some difficult situation. He is the pressure point. If Brown decides to push Piranha, then SZ will have to be careful now. SZ, they will have 2 tanks capturing D. Does that send any information for Brown to make a push right now? Because they have all 7 tanks near the northeastern corner, they can pretty much make a push. But SZ, they are clever. They know that they can get a push from Brown, because they have a numerical disadvantage. So SZ has got D, and it's time for SZ to regroup now. And Brown hasn't made use of the opportunity to push. I think this could be a problem, or maybe it's not a problem, because both teams haven't really put damage into the other team. But this could have been a call for Brown. We will see if SZ is able to regroup quickly enough and find out where to push, or maybe they could hold. But they don't want to be too aggressive at the moment, because at the moment the TVPs aren't back there yet, and Brown still has the numerical advantage. They're trying to get into way. I think SZ might have been a bit too ambitious. They need to be patient. They need to be really patient. And VK72 also being quite impatient here. SZ, they need to know they only have 5 tanks. Brown has 7 tanks. And this could get really, really soft now for SZ. SZ, now is not the time to get the caps. Now is the time to get the tanks out of the way. The TVPs are now looking for Horizon, but Brown has already drawn a substantial hit point pool lead. And TVPs are now ignoring the WZ at the moment. They're looking for Memento. Memento is the focus for SZ. Or is this a Raj? So Raj is the focus. Now they're looking for Memento. The double TVPs are now looking for Memento. The hit points are still in huge favor of Brown, but that TVP has to be taken out very quickly. Brown getting their focus fire in really nicely. Memento is now down to a 1-shot. Brown is dominating this match, actually. They got Hoot out of the way. Memento is dead. The focus fire is on point, to be honest with you. SZ just looked very confused this time. Brown, huge, well done. Toko gets rammed. And we have Gobu, the last, potentially not the last person standing. It was Maki running around in circles. Brown vs SZ. It goes in favor of Brown. Gobu is now dead and Maki is the last person standing. Well done to Brown. Great match. And Maki just bounces all the shells. No, 1 shell in, and the other shell bounced. So 3 shots bounced there. Great job to Brown. They are leading 2-1 now. SZ, they need to wait for the TVPs. They shouldn't make. They shouldn't be that aggressive, because they only have 5 tanks compared to Brown with 7. And Brown just made use of this numerical advantage and just pushed them, and they just got good focus fire in the end, and they just comfortably won against SZ. SZ, they need to be aware of the numerical disadvantage they have in that situation, and it was very difficult for them to focus fire because Brown was pretty much bundled up, and they need to be patient. They need to be patient. I like that I like that they could potentially make a move. But they need to wait. They need to wait. And they need to wait for the TVPs to come in from behind and create problems. The TVPs aren't even close. And this is the timing issue for SZ. They really need to get that sorted in the next one. Yukon now, Brown, very close to victory. They look very, very solid at the moment. I mean, this is definitely the team to beat in the Challengers tournament. And we're going to be seeing another good fight. Three more seconds to go. And potentially we're on to the final match of tonight. Here we are. Yukon.
Time to roll out.
Let's head up high and see what Brown's going to do here against SZ. Brown this time will be capturing B quickly, and they are trying to put tanks onto D2. And SZ will also put tanks onto C, but who will get a cavalry first? Is it going to be SZ or is it going to be Brown? It seems the cavalry will go to Brown because B is closer to the spawn, not C. C is not as close. And as you can see, Brown gets B more quickly. Oh, shots been fired onto Mr. Insane. SZ on the defense here at the moment. They're trying to bleed Brown. This time, they just have to play it patiently. They still have a lot of time. I mean, there are only like 3 cap points per 2 seconds of increase, so they absolutely need to find a way to bleed Brown. Don't rush for now. The tank's been spotted. They can find a way to break down. They might have found a way actually, or maybe they don't. We have to see. Brown is also getting aggressive, so it could still go which way, but Brown has more hit points. So Brown can make use of this, but they don't really know exactly their hit points at the moment. They just know only 2 tanks have been shot at. And they know that a couple of tanks have been shot at too. And we can see Memento carefully surveying this area. And they are bleeding Asset a lot more too. But I think Asset has found a weakness in Brown's strategy. The Sheridan is going to come from behind. We'll put shells in. He is approaching this one carefully. He is not spotting any tanks though. But maybe he will pull back and try to put shots onto Siraj. This is the call that he will make. And that was a good shot into Siraj though. Siraj has made a call to push. But I think that is a bad call because now it could potentially descend into 3 versus 2. Strasny coming in to support. But it's a bounce from Maki on Siraj. Piranha needs to stay behind, but Maki and Piranha is having some communication issues. Great shots onto Siraj there, Sirocco needs to relocate. But at the same time, Brown is pushing onto Daytona, which is a good call from Brown, and this will depend on whether Siraj is going to stay alive for long enough. But Siraj is now connected with the rest of the team. This is going to descend into Anarchy, and it's going to be 7 versus 6 in favor of SZ. It's all about focus fire, it's all about hit point pool sharing. Brown is doing a bit better with the hit point pool sharing. E-Cannon is trying to stay alive. Mount has now come in to deal with Mr. Insane. The focus is now on Mr. Insane. This could still go which way, but Daytona is now dead. It's now 6 versus 6. E-Cannon, great shot onto, but Maki blocked the shell, but Mr. Insane is now down. Maki also blocked the shell from Mr. Insane here. There are 2 one-shots. Ultimate got 1 tank out of the way. E-Cannon's trying to pull back as much as he could, but it's going to be really, really tough. Ultimate really looking for E-Cannon here. But Memento is now dead. It's 4 versus 4. Ultimate got E-Cannon. Toko is now really low. Strasny gets E-Toko. And we have SZ. Sheridan still really healthy. Gets Strasny. That was very important here. Maki will go down to Horizon. It's now 3 versus 2. That Sheridan is exploring with Type 71. Gobu could be a one-shot, but the Sheridan definitely doing an amazing job here. Takes a shot though, but he has to put that last shell in onto Cake. Can he do it? Or will he leave it to Gobu for that? Oh, he gets killed here. This would go to Brown, but SZ has put up a really, really strong fight here. It all boils down to the shot efficiency, the bounces, and so on and so forth. Brown, in the end, Siraj connect with the rest of the team, and they got the important tanks out of the way. So, in terms of brawls, Brown has done a good job, and SZ will need to improve their individual skills. I think this is the area they need to improve, but they have been really impressive tonight, and I love to see more of them in future. But with that being improved, SZ could definitely challenge for top 8, to be honest with you. So SZ, I have a lot of faith in you. Just go after the challenges tournament with like 1 to 2 months of break. Your main focus should be on individual skills and train your shots. Learn how to not really learn how to penetrate, but practice with penetrating shots, and I believe you can do it. Brown, very strong performance again. They are looking unstoppable here. 3-1 against SZ, and they are through to they are going to be seeded first in the Challengers tournament. Meanwhile, we have DT versus Rats. What is the final scoreline here? DT versus Rats, and it is they are still playing at the moment. It could go to a tiebreaker. As for lower echelon championship, HPG versus UQ. They are still playing at the moment, so this could go to a tiebreaker. ARWV. What's the scoreline for them? 3-1 against IBP. They're through to the final stage. How about PYT versus ADBI? They have won against ADBI 3-1 and they are through. How about King versus S? 3-0. They are through. So it all remains to be seen whether UQ is able to knock out HPG or is it the other way round. Right. So this is all for me. Thank you all for watching. But we will wait a little bit more and see DT versus Rats. But I hope you all enjoyed the stream and you all predicted Brown would win because I didn't end my poll. Calling your teammates bots after a loss should be really motivating. This is going to be... this is not going to be motivating, to be honest with you. So I have put down to stream Nomad versus ARWV in the 5th round, and then P1 versus GRS for the 6th round. Finally, the 7th round, I have put down myself to follow GV versus Team ID. So these are the 6 clans I'll be following tomorrow. 6 different teams, 6 different playstyles, and you'll have a taste on how these 6 teams play tomorrow. I mean, you know a couple of teams already because I've streamed them, but this is going to be interesting. As for Risk, I will be following you in the last 3 match days, so don't despair. You will be followed. You will be under the spotlight. Wish all the best for you. For the moment, let's say if we have results coming in for Rats versus DT. And Rats versus DT, they're still playing at the moment. I think it has gone to a tiebreaker here. And so lower echelon championship. Oh, we have results. HPG versus UQ. And then UQ won against HPG 3-2 in a tiebreaker. Well done to UQ. They were very... I mean, HPG put up a really good fight. Unfortunately, the seeding is not with them. I would love to see PYT and HPG in the same group, then we will get some really good matches. But for the lower echelon championship, your final 4 clans are UQ, ARWV, PYT, and King. And that's all for me tonight, and I'll be checking out the final scoreline for the lower echelon, and I'll head out and prepare for the EU server. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you have a good time in watching my stream, and hopefully the challenges tournament are great to watch. Until then, see you soon. Bye for now.